Hello, great people. In a bold and audacious manner, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan stormed the National Assembly in an attempt to resume her duties as the senator representing Kogi Central, but she was resisted by the security agencies comprising the police and the DSS, apparently on the instruction of the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio. I have a compilation of what happened in the National Assembly, so do well to catch up with it in my video catalog, and I will try to recommend it as two videos that will be showing at the end of this video. So if you miss it, do what to catch up with it so you can understand what happened. And one of the video is the press conference that the senator granted after her entry was resisted by the security agencies, and she had a lot to say in that regard. Do what to catch up with the video. On this episode, we'll be talking about all what happened in the premises of the National Assembly, and we'll be going back to the court judgment that the court judgment of Justice Binta Inyako, and also we'll be looking at parliamentary conduct, particularly the conduct of the senators to Nigerians and among themselves, and also we'll be looking at the action of the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and the use of security agencies in Nigeria, particularly for personal vendetta. We'll be doing all this and more on this episode with your sure plug, Dr. Omosholadeji. First, I must say, before going into the judgment, because I want to point out something very important as regards the conduct of Justice Binta Inyako. But before I go into that, let me first of all give my shout out to Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. Well, shout out to the senator, because personally, you may think otherwise, and I look forward to your impression in the comment section. But personally, I think that Natasha, a kind of courage, a kind of audacity, Natasha is somebody that everyone must have, as either as a friend, either as a mother, either as a sister, either as a colleague, either as an associate. I think everybody needs a Natasha in their life to feel any kind of position that she can fit, either as a mother or sister, because her courage, knowing fully well that she would be resisted, that her entry would be resisted, definitely kudos to her for summoning the courage to kind of like say, well, I don't deserve to continue to be in suspension, and I am here to resume my duties. Even if her entry was resisted, she has made a bold statement, and she has passed a kind of like clear message that, well, she is bold enough and she knows what her right is. Now, you may argue about the court judgment that, okay, maybe the Senate was ordered or not and all that. Well, let me now go to the court judgment. You see, all what happened, the acrimony as regards our resumption or no resumption, the face-off with the security agencies, the abuse of power allegedly by Akpabio and all that, I will blame it on the judiciary, particularly Justice Binta Inyako, because the judge, seemed to be not too upright. And with profound respect to my Lord Justice Binta Inyako, I think she can really do better. I really think she can do better, because definitely the case is a case of interest to the senator and the Senate, and also Senate President Godswill Akpabio. And the Nigerian people are kind of like looking forward to what will happen. But the judge decided to dance in the middle. The judge decided to be ambiguous. The judge decided not to be straight enough. And the judge did not show courage enough to make sure that she declared an authoritative judgment that, well, having looked at everything and based on judicial precedents, the suspension of this senator is unjust, and order that she resumes. I think that it is painful that Justice Binta Inyako failed to kind of like take that bold step. I think that she was just trying to kind of like dance around the case, and that brings us to, is there anything that we need to know as regards what transpired regarding the case? I don't know how she came about that judgment, but then I must say that this is the same judge that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu complain about. And let us be sincere with ourselves. You may not like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It's not compulsory for you to like him. But then if you review the action of Nnamdi Kanu by insisting that Justice Binta Inyako must recuse herself from his case, and you look at the judgment that she has delivered on a sensitive case like that of the suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, and you review everything together, definitely you will know that, well, Nnamdi Kanu, you won't blame him after all for his decision to insist that Justice Binta Inyako steps down. Because it is apparent at the end of the day, judgment was given, but then there's no justice. You gave a judgment and you were dancing around you that, oh, the suspension of the Senate is excessive, no, you have to be declarative. You have to be bold, knowing fully well the kind of stubborn-headed senators and Senate leadership that you are dealing with. So in this case, it is pitiful that the Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan approached the judiciary, which they say is the hope of the helpless and the last hope of the common man. But at the end of the day, she didn't get justice, and that itself is saddening, and it makes me to appreciate the effort of Nnamdi Kanu by insisting that the judge should step down from his case. I think such a judge, with profound respect to her, and shouldn't be given sensitive cases, shouldn't be given public-spirited cases. And you will agree with me that that of Nnamdi Kanu is a sensitive and public-spirited case. And one thing that I can say, again, looking at the whole scenario, what transpired at the venue of the National Assembly, is that, you see, Akpabio needs to be very careful, and careful indeed. In the sense that power is transient. Power is like a whiff of smoke. It fades away within an eye twinkle. Even if you are to spend 4 years as a senator, before you know it, day after day, time after time, month after month, year after year, you will know that, oh, wow, your tenure has expired. If you want to know what I'm talking about, you can ask the likes of the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo. You can ask the likes of Goodluck Jonathan. Those are the people that can tell you that, oh, how time flies. So I think that Akpabio needs to be very careful of his place in history, because if you look at it, let us be sincere with ourselves. May we speak the language that all of us understand. You see, if you are to kind of like fight a woman, you have to be very careful, because at the end of the day, Natasha apparently now has nothing to lose. She's already down. She has spent 4 months out of the 6 months, and already now she is already down. She has nothing to lose. Fear somebody that is down and have nothing to lose, especially if that person is a woman. Because if a woman is determined to go all out against you, definitely it will take the grace of God for you to be able to scale through. So women are very powerful. The way God has created them, God has created them, in his own unique way, that in fact it is only God that understands women, to be sincere. So for me, I think that Akpabio needs to be very, very careful. Just for kind of like, even if Natasha is allowed to resume, one thing is clear: she has already served 4 months. 4 months, she has already served it. So that itself has made a statement. So Akpabio must know when to run, when to hide, when to stop, and when to walk. I think that for me, apparently, since the senator have served 4 months, I think the time to stop is now. If she had been allowed into the chambers, the Senate is going on recess for about 2 months. So that is 6 months already, and that means that she would just be on the floor of the Senate today, and they definitely, before she can have any other opportunity, it will be the next 2 months. So I think that if Akpabio, particularly if he still has kind of like political ambition, either to return as Senate president, or to contest to be the president of Nigeria in the future, or to kind of like lobby for the slot of the vice president when power goes back to the north, then he has to be very careful. You may disagree, but that is what I think in my own mind. And the world is a global village. It also needs to think of its reputation, because everybody across the world is watching this thing. And if Akpabio happens to be my brother or my uncle or my friend or my associate, what I'm saying now is what I will tell him: that Akpabio, you see, you have risen in the political circle. You must know when to stop. You must know when to walk, and you must know when to talk. Right now, I think it is time to stop. Just allow the lady. You have already made a statement, and the Senate is going on recess. Either which way, you are not at the losing end in any way or manner whatsoever. And sometimes, if you have the power to kind of like do something, and you do that thing, definitely people will not appreciate you. They won't see it as anything. For instance, now, if I march on Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it is naturally expected that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has the power to crush me to pieces. So people would naturally expect that, oh, Tinubu is going to crush this guy. If Tinubu eventually crush me, definitely he has not done anything new. But if Tinubu just looked at, oh, why would you have done this? Okay, I let go. Then everybody will be praising Bola Ahmed Tinubu that, wow, we thought that when they marched on his foot, that, oh, he's just going to kind of like deal with him. Then people will begin to praise Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So in that instance, you have the power to kind of like superintend over the affairs of the National Assembly, and it is naturally expected that you will use it against the senator, and you are doing same. So you have not done anything new, you have not done anything special. You are doing what people expect you to do. But as a politician that has political ambition, why not do something else? Why not take the people by surprise? Why not kind of like do something that the people do not expect that you will do? And that is my own thinking as a political scientist. That is the kind of advice that I can give the Senate president, that, okay, you have taught this woman a lesson one way or the other. Why not backtrack? Why not do something that would, at the end of the day, make you win the admiration of the people? Because at the end of the day, as a politician, you cannot disconnect yourself from the feelings, from the viewpoint of the people. And politics is an all-inclusive sport, which means that you want everybody the greatest number of the people to be your friend. You want people to love you. Even if there are people that love you, you still want more people to love you as a politician, because politics is an all-inclusive sport, and you need the vote of both the intelligent, the stupid, the weak, the ugly, and the mad. Another thing that I must touch on is the abuse of human and state resources, because look at the way the security agencies were deployed under the rain. You are deploying the security agency, you are deploying armor tank and all that just to stop one woman. I think that is shameful. I think that is an abuse of human and state resources. And the earlier we begin to channel these resources to where they are needed, in Benue, in Zamfara, in Plateau, and other places where there are security concerns, the better for all of us. It's been an interesting time with you. Subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past video. See you in my next video. I love you all sincerely.